Hello and welcome back everyone to Python Basic. So for my previous video, I talked about the Python basic variables. So now for this video, I will talk about the Python conditional statement. So what is a conditional statement? Well, a conditional statement, just like what the name suggests, is a statement with condition. So let's check out my first file here, the if.py file. And let's look at the first line. So this first line is what we call an if statement, and we identify that it is an if statement because it starts with an if and it ends with a colon, and anything in between is the condition. So this line is asking if 5 is bigger than 7, true or false. Okay, let's look at the second line, and the second line is just a print function, but it have an indentation right here. And an indentation is very important in Python because it shows where the if statement starts and it ends. And it does not only work for if statement, it also works for like loop and functions and else and many others. So for example, if I print something else here, this will be a part of the if statement. We know that because it have an indentation. But once I de-indent it, once I go back to the back one tab, if I go back one tab, I will know that this will not be part of the if statement. So even if I indent anything else after it, it won't be a part of the if statement. So let's try to run this code. Python if.py. Okay, and as you can see, it have an error here, line 5, because here it says here unexpected indentation. So that's because this is not when we indent a code, Python is trying to understand what we are trying to say. Like if right here, if we indent, that means we're telling Python that this is the body of the if statement. But here we just indent out of nowhere, so Python doesn't understand that what we're trying to do. So that's why it have an error here, the indentation error. So that's why indentation is very important in Python. So let's save this, let's fix it and run it again. And okay, so it print out 5, it's not bigger than 7. So it basically, if the statement is true, the body of the condition of the condition will be print out, will be ran. Like if I write a variable x equal 2 here, and let's say in the start I put x equals 0. Okay, and let's try to print x. Print x. What do you think will happen? Will x be 0 or 2? Well, because the if statement skip over this line, x will stay 0 and this code will not run. So that's why it print out 0 instead of 2. So basically, if this statement is false, anything in the body of the if statement will be skipped. But if it is true, all these will be ran. Let's check out if let's put the condition to be true. So let's put it 8. Save it and run. And as you can see, it print out 2, and it also print out this and this. So that's the basic function of the if statement. If it's true, it runs. If it's false, it skips. So let's check out another file that I have prepared. So this is the grading.py file, and basically it's just when you initialize a grade right here from 0 to 100, it will give you a grade like A, B to F. Okay, and also this let's check this com.png file. Okay, so this is just basically telling us what these symbols mean. So before we were using this greater than symbol. And now we're using this greater than or equal to symbol. So the Python is checking if grade is greater than or equal to 90. If it is, it will run this. If it's not, it will skip over it. So let's try to run this grading.py file. Let's let's just put the grade as 0 and try to run it. Python grading.py. Okay, and it print out 0f. So that means it's works. So okay, so let's try it with something else. Let's try 50. Let's just try with 97, for example. Okay, but what's this? It's printing out 87b, then 87c, and d, and e, and f. So what's happening? It's because the if statement does not skip over the other if statement. Basically, when this one is true, it will print this, and then it will go to the next line, which is another if statement, and it check if this is true or false. So to fix this, we can just use the and like this. So if grade is greater than or equal to 90, and grade is lesser than or equal to 100. We can do this for all the other code. So let's just copy and paste it and change the n. Let's put it 89, 79, 69, 59, and 49. Okay, let's save and run. Okay, so now it works properly, but it looks really messy and complicated. So conditional statement have another condition which is called the else if. So let's remove that and let's write the else if. You can add the else if by typing el in front of the if statement. So now we turn this if statement into an elif statement, which basically when this statement is true, it will skip over everything, even the else statement. But if it's false, it will go here, and then if this is true, it will skip over the other else statement. So let's change of them into the else statement, else if statement, and let's delete the new code that we just wrote. Okay, so now let's try to run it again. Okay, so now it properly works, and it's not it doesn't look as messy as before. So what if grade is -1? Let's try and run that one, and nothing happens. Why? Because it's not part of the condition. So let's add another code called the else code. The else code is basically if all of these fail, if the outcome is all false, then the else will run. So if all this is false, then this will become true and it will run whatever is in here in the body. So let's print out invalid grade. Okay, let's save and run. And now it works. Okay, so that's the basic of the conditional statement. We have the if statement, which if it is true, it will run the body, and if it's false, it will go to the next line of code. And we also have the else if statement, which is if the if statement is false, the else if statement will check the condition, and if it is true, it will skip all the other else if and else code until we start a new if statement. So this is the beginning of the if statement, and this is the end of the everything of the whole if statement, else statement. So if we try to write else if here, it won't work. Let's just try. As you can see, basically as you can see, we don't even get the color because it's not valid code. So see, it's still white. It's not valid code. So if the Python run, it will think this is a variable, but it's not, because the else if um, is a reserved word, so it will outcome an error. But let's just try it to prove the point. And as you can see, it says invalid syntax because there's no if above it. So it needs to start with an if, and it doesn't need to end with an else or an else if. So you can just have an if statement alone like this one. It's just a simple if statement without the else or the else if. So every if conditional statement must start with an if, but does not necessarily need to end with an else if or else. So that's all for the conditional statement, and for my next video I will talk about the function.